What happens if you stop? What happens if you stop? What happens if you pause your plans, you stop the impulse decisions? What happens if you just stop? What happens if you take the time to consolidate? What happens if you take the time to count your stock? What happens if you take the time to sit with yourself, right? What happens if you stop? I touched on this maybe the second video I did about the trauma response of poverty, where once you begin to get out of poverty, you can think to yourself, I have to keep going. I have to keep trying. I can't stop, because what if I'm poor again? What if I lose everything? And I have adhered to that my whole life. You know, I've been afraid to stop. I've been afraid to just not be going for anything. I've been afraid that I would permanently lose my drive, that I would permanently lose my willpower, my desire to go where I want to go. I've been definitely afraid of that because I've relied on it my whole life to get to the point where I am now. And I think about this now. I think about what if I stop? What would that feel like? To just consolidate, to take inventory of myself. And I've thought of this before, truly, and it's never stuck until now because I've been thinking about this more holistically. I've been thinking about what if I stop because I'm not sure I've ever seen myself when I've stopped. I don't know if I've ever enjoyed myself. You know, I think a lot of people can understand and will agree with this. When you're always doing something, when you tie your self worth to your work, even if it's not intentionally, you can be afraid of stopping because you can wonder, what will I be worth if I'm not pursuing some goal? Will I have any weight if I'm not, you know, burning myself out all the time, if I'm not constantly applying to something, even if it's slow and steady? What if I stop? What then? And that's been a thought that's been on my mind recently. Is what if I stop? And y'all, let me tell you, it's been a good time thinking about this because I'm able to think about it and I'm able to view it holistically. I'm able to view it as a part of like a grand scheme, almost like of myself, like a part of the greater story. Because I know I need to stop. I'm not burnt out anymore. I took care of that. I learned how to work within my limits, but once again, I'm working. There's nothing wrong with working. Again, what I'm talking about is balance. And if I stop, how am I going to restart? Is what I think. If I stop, what happens to me? What are people going to think? These are the thoughts that I'm having. If I stop, what if everything that I thought I knew about myself isn't true? These are thoughts that I'm having. And I'm no longer afraid or intimidated by these thoughts. It's the opposite now. I'm ready to embrace them because I know that this is what I need to take care of. And a lot of us could benefit from stopping. And again, this is tied to a greater story where you need to already have the skills, the mental fortitude, the self compassion, the self understanding that if you stop, you will continue. And that whatever you make of yourself when you're stopped, you'll love just the same as you did before. And when you have that level of maturity or just understanding, you can stop and reflect without that fear. And I know I can do that now. And I know that a lot of you who are watching this, whoever needs to see this, can do that now. You can stop. You can look at yourself and you can look at yourself fairly, right? And this time, you're not stopping because you're burnt out. You're not stopping because you're just so tired. You're not stopping because, you know, you don't know what to do. You're stopping for you. You're stopping because you want to experience yourself. You want to be happy with yourself. You want to sit with yourself. You want to feel yourself when you're not going for anything. You want to know your worth when it's not attached to your work. Because what you do is not who you are, nor does it define who you are. You know, you do one bad thing that doesn't make you a bad person. You define if you are a bad person. You can do bad things, but you can be a good person. I believe that. If you truly mean something, truly mean what you say, then your actions don't weigh on your sense of self. And that's between you and, I say, God to decide if you're lying or not. But my point is consolidating, resting, understanding that you are not stalled, that you are not permanently stuck, that you're not stuck at all. Understanding that being stopped is a blessing, right? That taking stock of yourself is a blessing, right? That consolidating who you are is a blessing. And it's an opportunity to get in touch with yourself on a deeper level. It's an opportunity to understand yourself on a deeper level. It's an opportunity to become something more when you once again take off. But when life gives you an opportunity to stop, take that. Take that. Stop. Take inventory. It's about breathing. It's about sitting. It's about thinking. It's about looking, you know. So stop, you know, feel that stress that you've been carrying. Just stop, and know that you're not stalled. You're not stuck. You're none of those things. You're just stopped. And you will always have the ability to continue. That will always be capable. You will always be capable of that. And I just wanted everyone here to know that stopping and going, what you do, what you don't do, it's not defining your worth. That's intrinsic. And the self is eternal, and the self has a value because it is itself. We are all unique because we are all individuals. You know, your name is not your worth. None of the attributes that you've attributed to yourself are your worth. Your worth is inherent. Your worth is your natural right because you were born, because you exist. That is your worth. You exist. You are a miracle. You are more than you could ever imagine. So stop.